Good morning. Nice to see everybody out on this beautiful, beautiful day for this announcement. It's an honor to kick off this morning's announcement and welcome our Minister of Transportation, Carolyn Mulroney, to our great city of Hamilton, together with our Mayor, Fred Eisenberger, MPP Donna Skelly, and Metrolinx CEO and President Phil Verster for an exciting announcement that will continue to strengthen transit in our city. Investing in transit solutions is critical to the growth and development of our communities and improve reliable transit for our municipalities. Minister Mulroney's continued support and dedication to building stronger and innovative transit solutions in Hamilton and across the province of Ontario is unwavering. This includes the highly anticipated $1.7 billion investment in the Hamilton LRT, the recent investment of $168 million to expand and improve Hamilton's bus service, and today's long-awaited improvements to GO Transit services that will be instrumental not just for Hamilton, but for the Greater Toronto-Hamilton area. Today's announcement is another example of the commitment of the provincial government to improve and expand critical transit services that connect and strengthen communities, businesses, and services that Ontarians rely on, while creating thousands of jobs for our members in the construction industry, but also workers in the maintenance and transit operations. To continue this momentum, I want to welcome MPP Donna Skelly to the podium.
Thank you, Joe, and good morning, everyone. I'd like to thank absolutely everyone for joining us for this very, very, very important announcement. I also want to thank my very dear friend and Minister Mulroney, Phil Verster, and Mayor Fred Eisenberger for being here with us this morning. You know, I know that families and commuters throughout Hamilton rely on the West Harbour GO Station and the Lakeshore West Line to get to Toronto for both work and entertainment. It's a vital link for people connecting to other parts of the Greater Golden Horseshoe as well. GO Transit is a safe, efficient, and affordable alternative to driving, and it's a great way to avoid congestion on the 403 and the QEW. But many people still have to drive up to half an hour to the nearby Aldershot GO station because the Hamilton stations do not have access to all-day rail service. In 2019, just before the pandemic, 62% of Aldershot GO customers who drove to that station lived in Hamilton. And on weekends, 70% of GO bus passengers who transferred at Aldershot came from Hamilton. And with nearly 15 million people expected to call the Greater Golden Horseshoe home by 2051, improving transit will be even more critical. It's time to build a modern, integrated regional transit system that keeps people moving for decades to come, and that's exactly what our government is doing. We are committed to delivering the kind of public transit services that people need and that Hamiltonians deserve. And I just have to say that it was 10 years ago in September that Dalton McGuinty announced just across the street at the building across the street that we would have all-day GO service by the Pan Am Games. Time and time again, the Liberals showed up and promised all-day GO. Well, guess what, folks? The Conservatives here, and we are keeping that promise. We are delivering. And with that, I will turn it over to the Minister, who will share more details.
Thank you, Donna. Good morning, everyone. Bonjour à tous. I want to thank my colleague, Donna Skelly, for being an incredible advocate for her riding of Flamborough-Glanbrook and for the people of Hamilton. For too long, commuters in Hamilton have had to rely on the Aldershot station to get to downtown Toronto by public transit. But that's going to change because of Donna Skelly's advocacy at Queen's Park. And of course, it's great to be joined by Mayor Fred Eisenberger, Joe Mancinelli of LiUNA, and Metrolinx CEO Phil Verster. Our government is bringing new GO service to Hamilton. This region is booming, and we must keep up with the demand. That starts with expanding the GO network. I am very pleased to announce that beginning Saturday, August 7th, GO Transit is introducing all-day train service between West Harbour GO Station in Hamilton and Union Station each day of the week. This new expanded service will make it easier for Hamiltonians to access transit, helping to drive long-term economic growth and job creation throughout the region. And it will finally provide surrounding communities with easy access to a station by walking, biking, and local transit, meaning you no longer have to drive or take a bus to Aldershot GO Station just to get on a train. Je suis très heureuse d'annoncer qu'à compter du samedi 7 août, le réseau GO mettra en place un service de train à longue journée entre la gare GO de West Harbour à Hamilton et la gare Union, et ce, tous les jours de la semaine. Ce nouveau service étendu permettra aux habitants de Hamilton d'accéder plus facilement aux transports en commun, ce qui favorisera la croissance économique à long terme et la création d'emplois dans toute la région. De plus, les communautés environnantes pourront enfin accéder facilement à une gare à pied, à vélo ou par les transports en commun locaux, ce qui signifie que vous n'aurez plus à conduire ou à prendre l'autobus jusqu'à la gare GO d'Aldershot, simplement pour prendre un train. As more people get vaccinated and Ontario safely reopens, we know that the demand for public transit across the Greater Golden Horseshoe will be high. That's why GO Transit will also be reintroducing more weekday trips on the Kitchener, Barrie, Stouffville, and Lakeshore lines, and hourly weekend service on the Barrie and Stouffville lines for more flexible travel options. À mesure que davantage de personnes se font vacciner et que l'Ontario ouvre ses portes en toute sécurité, nous savons que la demande de transport en commun à travers la région élargie du Golden Horseshoe sera élevée. C'est pourquoi le réseau GO réintroduira également davantage de trajets la semaine sur les lignes de Kitchener, Barrie, Stouffville et Lakeshore, ainsi qu'un service horaire la fin de la semaine sur les lignes de Barrie et Stouffville pour des options de voyage plus flexibles. And we're continuing to push forward with work to deliver two-way, all-day service every 15 minutes over core segments of the GO Transit rail network as part of the GO expansion program. The good news doesn't stop there. We're working very closely with our federal and municipal partners to bring even more transit options to the people of Hamilton. A week ago, my colleague, Associate Minister Stan Cho, joined Mayor Eisenberger and the federal government to announce that Ontario is committing more than $168 million for 7 public transit projects here in this city through the Public Transit Infrastructure stream of the Investing in Canada Infrastructure Program. To get these projects done, all 3 levels of government have come together to provide over $500 million. And of course, the shovel-ready Hamilton LRT is happening. After nominating it as a 5th priority project earlier this year and reaching a historic funding agreement with the federal government, we're getting it done. Together with the federal government, we're investing $3.4 billion for an LRT. These investments are unlocking access to jobs, housing, healthcare, and more for the people of Hamilton, while creating good-paying construction jobs as these projects are underway. I am very proud of the historic level of collaboration taking place between our 3 levels of government. Here in Ontario, under Premier Ford's leadership, investing in public transit will always be a priority. Thank you. Je vous remercie. And with that, I'll turn it over to Mayor Eisenberger.
Well, thank you very much, Minister, and I'm delighted to be here for this announcement. What a wonderful start to a summer of hopefully getting past pandemic and getting on with the economic stimulus that means that we need to move our province and our communities forward. And I have to tell you, Minister, between the LRT investment, the recent announcement last week on the $500 million joint partnership with the federal municipal governments, and this announcement, you have done more than any other Minister of Transportation in the province of Ontario, bar none. Congratulations. A lot of hard work has been put into that, and the importance of it, I think, has already been defined. When we first visioned on having a station here, I remember there's a great debate at Metrolinx on whether it should be here or the first one at Centennial Parkway. I'm glad that we were able to convince them that this was the right place to be, and the aspiration was that if you build it, they will come, and we will sort out the CN issues. And I want to congratulate Phil Verster for doing his part, as well as the Minister for doing their part to ensure that we sort out those line capacity issues so we could have all day, every hour, 7-day-a-week service coming right from our waterfront station that is going to connect people to the rest of the region. And as we've said often, we are a regional economy. We're not a singular island unto ourselves. We need to be connected, and this goes a long way to making sure that that connection happens in a very significant way. So with advocacy from MP Skelly, who's been working very hard to support these projects going forward, Hamilton is making a big move on the transit side to get connected, and internally as well as externally through our regional transportation network. I mentioned Phil Verster a moment ago. I have to tell you that since his arrival here in Ontario as the Chief of Metrolinx, things have started to move significantly, doing a terrific job of leading us through the transportation interconnection transit networks. And great expansion on GO, great expansion in the bus GO system, and we don't want to forget about that great opportunity, and great expansion here today to ensure that Hamilton stays connected to the GO network. So thank you, Phil, for all that great work, and on that note, I'm going to turn it over to Phil Verster to say a few words about all the great work that he's doing today. And I did mention to Phil that, we do have a Confederation station down the road. What have you done for me lately? Let's get that one done too. And he tells me that it's in the works, and I believe him. So thank you, and Phil Verster, congratulations.
Thank you very much, Minister, and thank you, Mayor Eisenberger. There are few things in life that sounds as sweet as freight trains shunting on the main line next door, because that's the sound of real economic activity. And GO running to West Harbour is real economic activity. And as Metrolinx, we clearly very much focused on two markets at this end of the province, which is the Hamilton market as well as the Niagara market. And what we fix here from the 7th of August is we fix access to the Hamilton market. And for a moment, I just want you to dwell on the scale of it. From pre-COVID, we were at 40 trains a week. We are now going to 250 trains a week. That's a six times increase in service. And yeah, that blows my mind. It's just phenomenal. And listening to our MPP Skelly describe it is exactly the right way to think about it. This is about reasons for travel. First train out in the morning, 13 minutes past 5, gets you there just after 6:30 at Union. Evening train back 11:45, gets you here just after 1 o'clock in the morning. You can go do anything, anywhere along the route. You can go to the city, you can enjoy yourself. Fabulous. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Hand over to the Minister.
We will now open up questions from the media. If you have a question, please indicate it and I will walk the microphone over to you. A reminder that it's going to be one question and one follow-up. First question.
Hi, Mr. Mulroney. It's Nicole Martin from CHCH News. It's an exciting day, as you said, years in the making. What's changed that's allowing you to do this now? And in terms of it could have been done maybe before, I'm not sure. So what's the real change here that you're announcing this today? And what was the overall cost to make this happen?
Well, absolutely. It is a great day and it's very exciting. As Donna Skelly mentioned, it's been a long time coming. I'd say what's changed is our government has been committed to getting two-way all-day go on core segments of the network, but we've got to do it in an incremental way, and we've got to do it in ways that make sense. And as Phil Verster indicated, we're unlocking the Hamilton area and then down the road the Niagara region by doing this work. And so our commitment to delivering for the people of Hamilton, I think, is what's made the difference here.
Just again, with the overall cost as well to make this happen today, and also with Niagara, is there a timeline?
Well, the overall cost is part of our overall budget for Hamilton. And with respect to Niagara, we're working with CN, with our rail partners, to deliver it. We are committed to Niagara, just as we are to the City of Hamilton, to deliver it. So we're working to deliver it as quickly as we can, and their MPP, Sam Oosterhoff, is advocating very strongly for that as well.
Next question.
Hi there, this is Bobby Herstovo with CBC News. What does this mean for the potential for all-day service to the Centennial and Grimsby GO stations?
You know, I'm going to turn it over to Phil to give you some technical details on it, but what this means is we're unlocking, we're doing critical track work. We are providing service to this underserved station so that we can provide greater expansion along the route, connecting municipalities and stations that have not had this level of connection. But we're committed to delivering two-way all-day go service across the network on core segments, and so this is a key section, a key element of that plan. Phil, would you like to add some color?
If I can add to that, and the question particularly about Confederation. Confederation is behind us, just sort of down the track somewhat, and when you walk to the end of the platform, you'll see two tracks that basically terminate at the end of the platform. Now those two tracks are ideally positioned, and we've designed it such that when you look at how the GO train system now is separated from the main line, will allow us to operate all the way down to Confederation. So that's a piece of work which would follow. As the mayor says, that's the next part of our expansion.
Follow-up question.
Sorry, I don't want this to count as a follow-up question, but I was talking about Centennial, not Confederation. I'm wondering, does that change your answer at all?
No,
Okay.
it's the same name.
I'd also like to ask then, how long has the province been negotiating with CN, and how did that factor into today's announcement?
Well, we've been negotiating very well, but since Phil has been the CEO and I've been the minister, negotiations have been ongoing on in all sorts of ways. But do you want to speak to this negotiation?
Yeah, I think what's really important here is that CN is an operational partner of us, as the minister says, right across our network. So the discussions with CN has been ongoing for many years, and so we continuously look at new options. The market is changing for CN as well. I mean, they have different flows of what their traffic does, and we adjust and we plan our projects accordingly, and it's an ongoing conversation. I can give you a sense of it's great collaboration with both CN and CP. The real issue for us is the flow of construction and getting projects out in the market, building and expanding the network.
Next question.
So the question is going to be for the CEO of Metrolinx. Operational reliability, you've got the freight movements at Aldershot regularly. You have to end service at Burlington because of freight problems. How are you preparing to deal with that with West Harbour? And what does that mean for a passenger here if they get stuck in Burlington?
Well, very astute question, can I just say that? Yeah, you're absolutely right. Our ownership of our lines really ends at Burlington. This is why what we do beyond Burlington is so important for us. And while the work we've done at Bayview Junction, which was both track and signaling to separate freight past Stewart Yard and our own services, was really crucial. But going forward, we're busy coming up with a plan around what we're doing exactly about the question you asked. Burlington to Aldershot for us is a key. You know, once we fix Burlington to Aldershot, which is 3-track today, and get that to something that's potentially higher capacity, that'll be a great step forward. And we're working on that. That's part of the future.
Follow-up question.
To Mayor Eisenberger, this station here is only serviced by one HSR bus, which crosses 9 level crossings. Based upon the train schedule, somebody who gets off here we'll have to wait 28 minutes for the HSR bus. Has the HSR got any plans to provide a direct downtown to this GO station connection?
Thank you, Joey. So the announcement last week was, $250 million for a storage and maintenance facility. The balance of the funds was to improve the service along the A line from the waterfront all the way to the airport. So yes, there's an intent to expand and improve the service frequency and volume, and that will directly connect to this GO station. So to answer your question, the answer is yes. Those funds that we identified last week in partnership with the federal and provincial government is identified to actually do exactly just that.
Next question.
Hi, I'm Sarah Piesker, also with CBC Hamilton. I'm wondering how this affects the GO train service to the Hunter Street station.
It doesn't.
Follow-up question.
Yes, I'm also wondering if there's any effect to the express bus.
No, there is no effect.
Next question.
Hello, Matthew from the Hamilton Spectator. Thanks for taking the time. Maybe this is a question for Phil. Lots of excited rail fans have been following the construction over the last few years in this vicinity along the CN line. Can you explain a little bit what has been done to make this announcement easier in terms of a third track, or just tell people what has happened so far?
Yes. Bayview Junction was crucial. Bayview Junction allowed us to separate in more clearer defined flows freight from passenger rail. And the key thing with track modifications is where track creates a bottleneck for movements to happen. And part of the work around Bayview Junction, the easy part of the work was the track layout, fixing the track layout, which we did first. But then we followed up with the signaling modifications, which, to an earlier question, we fixed during the last year or so. And that was part that was really important. And then what we're then doing along large parts of the route is there's a couple of bridges that we are changing and broadening and creating more space for capacity for more track to pass. And that's a key part of getting the connection all the way through the Confederation. And the key thing now is obviously to actually make the linkage through from GO through the Confederation stroke Centennial. But yeah, it's an exciting time, lots of investment here.
And this is going to be our final question.
And just as a follow-up then, Phil, do you have to acquire property through Hamilton to extend another track all the way to Centennial?
Not really.
Well, great. That concludes our event today. I'd like to thank everyone for coming out. Have a great day.